political situation that's going on is amazing, isn't it? I mean, the presidential race is incredible because when I was a little girl, Eisenhower was president. Really, I know, you're too young, boo, you understand. So when Kennedy became president, I was real excited. I even formed a club called the Kennedyettes, and he sent us a letter and an autographed picture. So I'm from way back in terms of dealing with presidential elections. So this whole thing with Obama and Hillary Clinton, because I'm a Democrat, I was really challenged being a black woman. I didn't know, like, well, I'm a feminist, in the 60s is when I was, in high school and stuff. But all of my friends were like, but you gotta vote for Obama because he's black. I'm like, but what about his views on foreign policy? They're, no, it doesn't matter, he's black, you gotta vote for him. I'm like, but what about domestic issues? He's black, you gotta, but economically, he's black, you gotta vote for him. I'm like, well, I'm not really sure, and then Iowa happened. I'm like, a lot of white people like him. I don't know. Maybe I should look at Obama a little differently. Then the Kennedys supported him. I'm like, yeah, I'm for Obama because he's black. But poor Hillary Clinton, I think she's between Barack and a hard place. It's getting kind of tight for her. Now, so I think, let's give it up for the Democrats. They're doing pretty good. Right. Now the Republicans, on the other hand, who knew John McCain would be a front runner? I mean, he was washed up a few months ago. Someone asked him, what do you think about the economics? He said, I don't know nothing about economics. I'm a POW, that's all I know. But now he's the front runner. And then poor Mitt Romney, who knew being a Mormon was worse than being black? Gosh, but I think he pulled out a little too soon, didn't he? After what happened last week at the New York Times, who knew pulling out too soon would be a problem? But I bet he's regretting that now. Now we have the local political situation. Whenever you think about black mayors, quite often a scandal is associated with them, unfortunately. I mean, look at Marion Barry. Police, all he did was smoke crack with a hoe. He didn't kill him. Allegedly killed a hoe. Tonight, we have truly made national news. Detroit will be on Nightline. Those two officers who were in the whistleblower case will be on Nightline. It's frightening. So I have never really been a fan of Kwame Kilpatrick because he's younger than my children. And my children are crazy as hell. And I'm like, there's no way I could support anybody like him. But I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. He's like, well, he's done some good things. So when those text messages came out, I read them. I'm like, Kwame didn't do that. No, there's no way. 14,000 text messages, 6 months, and they were all grammatically correct. There's no way Kwame Kilpatrick did that. So he released a statement telling all of us that these were some issues that were raised 5 years ago that he and his wife resolved. Then he disappeared. Nobody knew where he was except for Steve Wilson. Steve Wilson found him in Florida. And then Steve Wilson also revealed he had been with a Carmen Selinsky the week prior to that, getting chocolate massages and all that carrying on. So then he finally comes back to the city, and he was lurking in the shadows. We only saw the shadow of Kwame Kilpatrick at the mansion. So then the much anticipated press conference, right? I don't think his wife read the same statement that he released, because she didn't look like those issues were resolved. Did anybody see that press conference? She sat up there, I am very angry. I am upset and disappointed, but I love my husband. I'm like, okay, what was that? Was that a robot? Was that a Stepford wife? Was that a female impersonator? Or was she just so doped up that she was able to read the teleprompter because she didn't look like she was too happy? Then I kept looking at Kwame Kilpatrick, his right eye, his left eye, was kind of swollen. So I thought maybe she used that bat, that Louisville slugger that she allegedly beat the stripper with. I think she hit him upside the head, so it took a whole week for it the swelling to go down. So I'm listening to this press conference. That was the biggest crock I've ever heard in my life. He said, please do not bother my family and I. When we were in Florida, that was the first time we spent a vacation since I've been mayor. I'm like, well, I guess so. Because in those text messages, he sounded like a little bitch talking about Christine, oh, I can't wait to be with you for 3 whole days. And then he was with Carmen Selinsky the weekend before. Do we care about what he did? So I didn't feel sorry for him. Then he had the audacity to say, I am not going to resign. Detroit, I will not quit you. Now see, I have some trust issues with men, especially black men, because of stuff like that. They lie to you, they cheat on you, they steal from you, then they don't want to quit you. Please quit me. Please, why are you cock blocking? Let me get somebody in my life that's going to treat me good. Please quit. So after the press conference, he's going out talking about stuff now. So they asked him, well, what do you think about your chief of staff resigning? He said, well, you know, she was a great piece of ass, great asset. I thought he was going to say she gave great dictation next. So he's about, she did what she had to do, she resigned. Then Sharon McPhail, oh my goodness, Sharon McPhail, the city attorney, who can believe anything that she says? She's like, there's no secret deal. Well, today we found out there was a secret deal, all that's been released. But the second time she ran for mayor against him, she said he was a thug. He tried to electrocute her. And then looking at her hair on the news, I think maybe he did electrocute her. She looked like Don Imus's poster child. She needs to go to the salon. It's a salon in Detroit called Happy to be Nappy. She needs to be their permanent client. I'm like, oh, sister girl, you are not doing us any justice. So I'm really appalled by what's happening in the city of Detroit. I want Detroit to be restored back to the Paris of America. Did you know we were known as the Paris of America? I have been involved politically. I marched down Woodward Avenue when I was 12 with Martin Luther King Jr. I've worked on Coleman Young's campaign. I worked on mayor campaign.